RuneScape and old school RuneScape are two sides to the same coin, some people say. Though in reality, it's more of a diverging timeline sort of situation where the games split at a single point in time and are now two different realities. RuneScape kept evolving, and its lore, world, and mechanics have continued advancing at a fast pace. Old school RuneScape, however, stayed true to the nostalgic charm of the game, where its gameplay has remained nearly the same since its divergence, and the world has evolved down a different path. Whether you find one version of the game better than the other is an opinion, and no side is more correct than the other. As someone who's been playing since RuneScape Classic, I personally think both versions of the game are just, well, RuneScape. I think both games are good games and can coexist, and the communities from both should do what they can to help both games flourish. There is no reason for discourse between the two games, and I actively encourage players to play both games. And that is what I'm going to start doing. Though old school RuneScape has always appealed to me as a game, I never wanted to restart my progress when the game split. But with friends in both of these games' timelines, it's time for me to try going from RuneScape to RuneScape, experiencing the alternate timeline. Hello again everyone, Kamari here, and welcome back to RuneScape, this time for episode 18. This is going to be a bit of a filler episode as usual. We're just at that stage in the account. Going to be a lot of levels, a little bit of questing, and a very minimal amount of PVM. I do slowly want to start creeping up on getting level 50 everything, maybe not sailing yet, but I do want to get at least base 30s and then slowly start moving my way back up. But I do want to get that herb lore up because it is currently where my Tears of Guthix would go, so we'll work on that. Got to get our birdhouses in first, though. Not on top of these, really. I do, some days I'm doing like 5 or 6 of them, other days I'm doing like 1. I was going to take my friend back down to Scurious. I was going to make the bow, didn't realize you fletched it, brought it to an anvil. I'm kind of dumb there, but it's fine. We left off at 59 kill count, and so we're sitting here doing Scurious, just the two of us. It takes a lot with 2 people. 51 range coming in though, but 1500 HP for our levels is quite a lot to get through, but it is doable, and we managed to get through it. They don't have a Ratbane weapon yet though, so that is kind of what we were going for, but there we go. The very next kill, after I did all the PVMing earlier, I do get the third and final Scurious Spine on kill count 60. 52 range coming in as well. And then we didn't get anything else. We only stayed there for a little bit. Level 52 Hunter. We did do birdhouses when they were available though. Getting some fletching in as well. 71 fletching. The fletching money making, I don't want to say it's slowing down, but without quests having like a lot of running back and forth, there's also, clue scrolls that I fletch during, but I'm not doing a ton of fletching on its own. Here we go, my first ever mahogany tree, and I miscalculated it. Just shy of the level, but here we go. Over to Fossil Island. God, that EXP drop is huge. Level 70 farming, though. The EXP rate with mahoganies, if you check all 3 of them, it's like 4 million farming EXP per hour if you could do it, but that's the dream. Here we are working on some herb lore. I did end up just buying some secondaries to work with the herbs that I had in my bank. Making some anti-poisons for now. 25 herb lore coming in. Can clean Raynars, which is nice, though I don't have very many Raynars, unfortunately. Making some restore potions here. Very useless. Big loss of money. Same with the energy potions, though. But the secondaries are pretty cheap, and herbalore is just almost always going to be a GP loss, but you do need to get that up. I do have a ton of Powerlander herbs, too, so that's why I was settling for the energy potions. Will I use them? I might. I mean, I might as well. They're like 60 GP each to sell, so it's not really worth it. I might as well get some usage out of them, but will I remember to? I'm not too sure. They're not super important. I don't have run energy issues almost ever. Creep it on up, though. We can do Herbivore, which it takes 80 under, hunter. I did not realize it took such a high hunter level to do the herbivore, but maybe I'll remember to do that at some point in the future. I really don't even know what that content is or what it trains. I'm assuming herblore and hunter, but no idea the mechanics behind it or anything. 34 herblore. And I do believe we end up getting one more. Agility potions, not really anything I plan on using. They might be useful, but what else do you use toad foxes for? 53 hunting coming in as well. Enough levels though. We are going to go ahead and get some quests done. Way out here in Narda in the desert. Again, not a big fan of the desert quests, but they got to get done, And this one actually ends up being a little bit useful, especially when you get the desert amulets. But Spirits of the Elid, we're going to get working on here. But the statue that you do get is quite nice when you can teleport to it. Basically, the town is cursed. He wants you to figure out why it's cursed. He thinks it's because there was like a Saradomin missionary in town and they let him die, and so they think he's like cursing the town or whatever. You get the robes, you fix them up, you grab the key. Having to telegrab this is very strange. Why can we not just reach over and grab it? But climb up the waterfall and into the cave. Nice little animation. Pretty sure this is how physics and gravity works, If you turn the camera angle, then he's walking up a straight flat land, Use the key to open the door. You have to have the robes equipped. And then you're going to have to fight 3 different golems. They're only damageable with specific damage types like crush, stab, and slash. So you do have to bring a variety of weapons or weapons that can attack with all of them. The first one here, have to use stab. So thankfully the controlled option here works. Go ahead and prey flick it all the way down. Easy enough. Once it's dead, you go inside and you got to clear the water blockage. And you make your way to the next door and repeat. You gotta kill another golem. You may not pass. No copyright infringement if you just copy it and change it enough that people don't know that you copied it, you know what I mean? Go inside and don't pull a me where I was so confused as to why this was not working. I brought my pickaxe and everything like that. I'm only level 40 mining. I can't use a rune pickaxe. Thankfully, there was a bronze pickaxe just outside the cave that I had to go grab, but I sat there for a good 30 seconds retrying it over and over, being like, why does it say I can't pick this? I brought the right tool and everything, but we got it done. Go ahead, fight the 3rd golem. Requires crush. I did bring a rune battle axe that I had gotten as a drop. Thing actually hits pretty hard. It's quite nice. Go inside and you have to use a bow and arrow to like shoot the target, and that somehow clears the path for the 3rd. Who knows? The water flows through, it unlocks the door, you come through and you speak to the, guess it, Spirits of the Elid. And they're like, oh yeah, no, we're putting the curse on him. Like, we killed the Saradomin guy. You guys converted to Saradominism, basically, in town, and we're not going to protect you. Basically, the gist of it, it's like, oh, Elidinus thinks you've betrayed her, and so you don't deserve their blessings or anything like that. And the mayor's like, oh god, like, we threw away a statue of Elidinus down the well or the crack over in the desert. Go down there and get it back for us like we didn't know. You come down here and there's a genie, like the random event genie. And he's like, oh, I'll trade you if you give me the soul of the mayor. And haha, you cut open his old shoes. Get it? Genies always try to twist your wishes. He asks for the soul of the mayor, but he actually asks for the soul of the shoe. You trade it for him and you come and you put it back. There you go. Quest complete. 2 quest points, 8,000 prayer EXP, 1,000 thieving and magic EXP, and access to Narda's Shrine. Narda's Shrine is huge because it stores basically everything. Your prayer, your HP, your run energy, it cures poison, and it overheals you. As you see, I have 64 HP. That is a medium diary task as well. So that is quite a nice statue, but not anything I'll get to use anytime soon. Speaking of quests though, we're back down here in Keldagrim. We're going to be starting the Forgettable Tale quest. Ends up being kind of a funny quest, but it's a very long one because there's 2 sections where it's like real life time gated. And so you do end up having to, spend like 40 minutes on this quest regardless. We get another beautiful opening cutscene with the new statue that we did help create. It's fun because this is like a movie intro, you know? Like the title pan and then Rise of the Red Axe Part 2, you know? Surprised they didn't ever do this for any other quests. At least none that I know of. Forgettable Tale of a Drunken Dwarf. And like broken glass, like floor item plugin still showing through on that. But basically, there's a drunken dwarf who apparently has information on the Red Axe or their whereabouts, but he won't tell you until you, surprise, surprise, get him drunk. But no, he doesn't just want beer. He wants a very specific drink that is only grown with very rare seeds. And so he's like, I'll give you one seed, but you got to get the rest of the seeds from my pals. And then you're going to have to grow the hops and make this beer for me, basically. So you go talk to his friends. This first one here, he asks for a random item from like a pretty extensive list of items. So you can get a little unlucky depending on what he asks you to bring him in exchange for his seed. Sounds kind of creepy when you put it that way, but thankfully he asked for some broken glass, and thankfully there's an entire house of it right there, right where I started. Bring him back the broken glass. There you go. He gives you the seed. You need 4 of them total for a hops patch, so 2 down, 2 to go. Come all the way down under White Wolf Mountain and talk to Korvac. You offer to get him a drink, and he's like, why would I do that? There's drinks on the table right there. They're unlimited. They just respawn, basically. And I'm like, everyone else asked me for one. I need this seed. And he's like, oh, they're kind of valuable. I only have 1 left. And I'm like, but I could give you a drink. And he's like, oh, okay. And then he gives it to you. You come back to the bar in Keldagrim. You talk to his last friend, Gauss, and he's like, hey, cheers, mate. Like, you know what you're talking about. Drink with me, and I'll give you the seed. And so, cheers. You pour one back, and there you go. But now the first time-gated part, you do have to actually grow it. So you got to rake the field, and then you plant the seeds, and it takes, I think it says 15 to 20 minutes to grow it. Yep, 15 to 20 minutes, and you do just have to wait that time. There's no way to speed it up, I don't believe. And so I just sat here and fletched headless arrows for however long it took for them to grow. You get the crops, and then you gotta come brew the ale, and this is immediately another part that takes actual time. You put the Kelda hops in the vat, or in the vat, and then you put all your yeast in, everything, and then you just sit here and wait. And so once again, I just sat here fletching. And there we go, about 6,000 headless arrows here. It is done. As far as I know, it can't be ruined. Normal brewing in-game like has a chance to like fail, and like bad ale is a possible result of it. But I think in the quest, you're safe. You bring him the drink, and he's like, oh, okay, that's delicious. And then he tells you a story about how he was exploring like the old like abandoned mines and everything like that. And he saw the Red Axe there. And so you try to go, and it's blocked off. And the guy's like, you need to get permission from one of the directors. And so you go back to the director of the company you joined in the first quest, and you get him to, you know, sign off on you being able to travel through. So they remove the boards, and you get to Tokyo Drift Initial D style Deja Vu, slide on in. Little loading cutscene of a huge bottomless chasm with mine tracks all around it. And now this is a pretty repetitive puzzle part where you get parts from the box, and then you activate the machine. You use the parts to like designate what track you want to sail down or mine cart down. And you need to go to the like 2 blue lined ones and get all the extra parts. And every time you grab one, you come back and you go down another one until you have enough pieces to get all the way to the final like continuation through the tunnels. And so it is kind of it's made very easy with the Quest Helper plugin, but it's a pretty simple like trial and error thing, especially because you know which ones you have to go to. But one of them leads all the way through into the next area, and bum, bum, bum. The red axe is just sitting right here talking. And so you overhear their new plan. There was a whole setup with the dwarf in the beginning that was supposed to crash into the statue and break it, and blah, blah, blah. And everything would have gone according to plan if it wasn't for the human, which is, you know, you. That's what happened in the first quest. And so they're basically just starting to admit to things, and you hear about their plans, and you're like, all right, I'll explore the rest of the cave system while I'm here. None of them see you crawling up here. Look at that form, though. Crawl on through to the next room, and you're in like a little, unfortunately, another chasm with more minecarts and more of the exact same puzzle. So once again, you get the pieces from the chest, you activate the machine, and it's putting the green or yellow ones in. They determine whether you turn left or right. You go down to all the dead stops that have chests at the end, get the extra pieces, and then you use the correct route to get all the way through to the next section. Such a cool, like, sliding animation, though. And the True Tile plugin showing that I'm so much further ahead than the actual cart. Like, that's actually kind of funny. Ground tiles are tweaking out over there, though. I don't know what that was. You end up in this little, like, library storage room, collecting a bunch of, like, evidence and, like, proof of the Red Axe's dealings, what's been going on. Talking about, like, experiments and, like, the hiring of the dwarf to help destroy the statue, and blaming the human and everything like that. So kind of just getting proof. You don't bring any of it with you, which is a little bit strange. I feel like that would, you know, help with the conclusion of the quest, but you get all the evidence. You go through even deeper into the mine. We're just down under this, down in Keldrim, and there's just these extensively huge caverns everywhere. Like, look at this look how much, like, scaffolding or whatever you want to call that is to hold the mine carts up. Like, they had to have built this at some point. Someone's got to know this is all here. But yes, a third section of the track puzzles, and like parts 1 and 2, it's the exact same thing. And we're moving on. Skirt, skirt, you know, sliding around. If you fall, I think you just die. I'm pretty sure that's what would happen. You can't see the bottom here. This is like underground pass, but scarier. But at least you're in a cart, so it's not your fault, you know. Finally make your way all the way down and through. And yet, I had to go through all the carts to get all the way through here across the chasms, and yet somehow the Red Axe people just walked here faster. So clearly there's a shortcut, and I took the very roundabout way. Basically showing the Red Axe director has like an army of Zamorak-powered Chaos Dwarves, and that's what he's going to use to try to, like, take over, basically. And I'm like, oh my god, there's Chaos Dwarves. I have to go tell someone about this. That's enough evidence. But of course, like, they don't see me just crouching up here. I don't happen to see this huge ogre just waltzing up onto me. Looks like we're finding the spying creatures-ease. And then he just casts magic, and it makes, based off of the name of the quest, it makes you forget. And somehow you end up back here. So he, like, you know, they capture you, they wipe your memory, and they drop you right back off in Keldrim, like, you know, they don't just kill you or anything. You go back to Veldabin, and you're just like, oh, I have to tell you about kebabs. Oh, that's right, I have to tell you about kebabs. Yum, 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 yum. And now you have to go to the pub and eat kebabs. And he's like, I think you've been bewitched. But you come to the tavern, you start eating kebabs, and it's like, cutscene, your character sitting here telling stories about, you basically confuse the Chaos Dwarves and everything you've seen with kebabs. And so all the dwarves are like drunk and laughing, and ha 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 ha, what a funny story about kebabs. Like, what kind of drunken nonsense is this? A whole group of kebabs came marching in. I'm telling you, marching in a line. Like, yeah. Okay. It's so funny that they're dwarves. They just look like small children just sitting here all drinking. The guy, like, right to the left of the player's head is, like, They're holding their glass like completely parallel to the ground. That would be spilling out. But sure enough, who comes slipping out of the bar? Colonel Grimson. He's like, ha ha ha, the magic has worked again. No one noticed him in there? I didn't notice him in there? Everyone that's been looking for the red axe doesn't notice him in there? Sure enough, but yeah, basically it's like, oh, they cast a spell on me and now no one's gonna believe me because the tale I told is so absurd that if I change kebabs for chaos dwarves, they'll be like, ah, you were just drunk. But there you go, quest complete. That is 2 quest points, 5,000 farming EXP, which is quite nice, 5,000 cooking as well, and 2 mature dwarven stouts. These are like 20,000 each, so I think I'm going to hold on to them because I might need them in the future for boosting or, I don't know, just money. I don't know if a quest or anything needs them, but I'll hold on to those for now. Level 33 cooking coming in as well. That is quite nice. Not going to make a chocolate Saturday or Tetra. Doing a clue scroll here, making one of the stashes. I do grab level 30 construction while making one of these. Haven't actually done any physical construction since I did the chair making after Daddy's home, but I do need to start working on that at some point, getting some of the house built and put together. Put the EXP lamp that I got earlier on that as well. And then I'm going to go finish off the clue. We get the casket. It might be my first easy casket, but there we go, the clogger. We get the steel kite shield trimmed. Nice looking thing there. You know, got to put on the fashion scape for it. The coif makes your head so flat. It's actually kind of funny how it does. I wish there was more helmets and things that didn't completely cover your character's hair, but there you go, looking real good. And then while I'm at it, I'm going to do a little bit of wood cutting because I was running low on logs for birdhouses. Grab level 48 wood cutting there. I do need to get 50 at some point so I can start cutting mahoganies for the birdhouses. Level 54 hunter because I can use mahogany birdhouses, but I'm going to go ahead and call it an episode there. Short little progressy type one. Did get a good handful of herb lore levels in and some nice fletching and stuff. Again, I need to start working towards like Monkey Madness. There's quite a bit more combat that I need to do. I want to start doing Slayer again, but I'm kind of just doing whatever feels good at the time. But I hope you guys are enjoying the series so far. Thank you all very much for watching, and I hope to see you all in another one. Until then, take care. Peace.